I'm wearing green, but what if what you thought was green was actually yellow, or what you thought was yellow was actually pink to most? Now, it's easy to be nervous when talking to such a large group of people, so I might just pretend I'm talking to a wall. No offense. But then again, how can I know you all even really exist? I can't look outside my mind and judge it from your perspective. But perhaps your perspective doesn't even exist at all. Maybe it's just a faculty of my mind. Here, we are presented with solipsism, or the problem of other minds. Solipsism is a philosophical position that asserts the individual's mind or self as the only thing that can be known to exist. It is a form of extreme skepticism that doubts the existence of other minds aside from your own. In short, the person next to you right now might be considered uncertain or unknowable. So, to a solipsist, all knowledge is limited to your own personal experiences and perceptions. There are many famous philosophical opinions on such a mind-boggling concept. First, let's look at Zhuangzi's butterfly dream. Zhuangzi was a 4th century Chinese philosopher. One night, he went to sleep and dreamt he was a butterfly. But when he woke up, he was unable to tell if he was a man dreaming of a butterfly or a butterfly dreaming of a man. Now, this story serves as an allegory for the illusory nature of existence, challenging our definition of reality and its fluidity. René Descartes was perhaps one of the most famous philosophers to grapple with the problem of other minds. Even though he wasn't a solipsist, he made an observation fundamental to the concept. He claimed the only truth that he couldn't rationally doubt was his own. You can think you don't exist, but the mere fact that you're thinking about your existence proves you must in some sort of way. Hence his infamous saying, and now a Billie Eilish song lyric, I think, therefore I am. 19th century philosopher Immanuel Kant concerned himself with the relationship between subject and object. He asked, to what extent is the object perceived when the subject perceives it? So by this, he questions if the objects we interact with are real. In his critique of pure reason, he claimed there's no way of knowing the world's actual substance if we don't look at the other side, meaning in order to understand the world, we need to look at it externally. But this is hard, as Descartes claims we are prisoners of our mind. Now, the idea that experiences of the external world are due to the perceiving mind led to a movement known as subjective idealism. This questioned the existence of anything outside our senses. Have we ever seen anything exterior to our perceptions? George Berkeley is another philosopher who argued the idea of a mind-independent reality is logically incoherent. He claimed that objects do not exist independently of our mind, or that the world exists regardless of our opinions and perceptions of it. He basically denies objective reality. He denies we all share the same experiences. He provides the analogy of a window. When we look outside a window, we see objects like trees and buildings. But what we're actually experiencing are the sensations of color, shape, and texture. We never have direct access to these objects, only to our perceptions of them. Therefore, he concludes these objects are merely collections of thoughts and sensations in our minds. So, if we cannot prove things exist outside our senses, and the only truth we can't rationally doubt is our own, then surely we could argue nothing exists in reality, only in our mind. It seems crazy, right? But could it actually be rational? Whether we realize it or not, a message all around us today is love yourself. The idea of self-love is everywhere in the media, the idea of every person for themselves. Many people believe the universe exists for them. People believe in manifesting through affirmations. Some people believe they're living in a matrix. I'm sure the existential crisis faced when watching films like Inception or The Truman Show is a relatively common experience. But there seems to be a large generational difference in opinions on self-love. Is our obsession with this concept some kind of unconscious realization that we literally cannot prove other people exist, so we can get away with only looking out for ourselves? Now, if you were to ask your grandparents who lived through the Second World War, they might argue this is absolutely not a coherent way to live. Essentially, it's narcissistic. Collectivist cultures would also frown upon this concept, where people are thought to succeed through relying on other people. If you refuse to give up your seat on the bus to an old lady on the basis you can't prove she exists, you might get a few death stares. Now, I'm sure many of you are contemplating a key flaw with this theory. It's just pretty selfish. Many people believe narcissism and solipsism cross over, and although the two theories are linked, it's important to remember that narcissism is the excessive love of yourself, while solipsism is the belief that you're all that exists. But whether subconsciously we believe everything only exists in our minds, we still act in the interests of others. Humans are innately selfish, but also highly empathetic creatures. Perhaps one of the most defining features of humanity is our capacity for empathy, the ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes. Humans' empathetic nature is due to evolutionary advantage. It's what makes us intelligent. It's what distinguishes us from other animals. Scientific studies have discovered a specialized group of brain cells that are responsible for compassion. And biopsychologists believe we have mirror neurons, which are triggered when we see people experiencing emotions similar to ourselves. Evidently, we care about how people perceive us. We'll behave to seek out validation from multiple different people throughout our lives. Now, this persistent craving for validation can be a way to achieve our goals, but it also places us under resistance. So perhaps there's a way we can mold a solipsist viewpoint to achieve maximum success. If we say to ourselves, I shouldn't care about their opinion of me because I can't prove they exist, then maybe we'll get more things done, take more risks. We wouldn't find ourselves being worried about hurting others, and we wouldn't find ourselves being worried about getting judged for our choices. So, many philosophers and even economists argue this is not a corrupt way to live. It enables purpose and good quality of life for everyone. So, I guess you could ask, is the problem of other minds actually a problem worth solving? Even if daily we doubt other people's existence, does it actually matter if we're still treating people with respect? If we're naturally inclined to be empathetic? It's possible to balance kindness to others and do what's ultimately best for us. We can prioritize ourselves and our realities without being ruthless. And so, it seems possible to be a solipsist and a good person at the same time. Thank you.